I'm Neeraj and I welcome you to Guru's show. In today's show, I'm going to discuss about online classes once again. Today, I'll be demonstrating English class just to put forward my word effectively. What I'm feeling is that the presently the teaching is going on, but the learning is not happening the way it has to be. See, in English class, there are four skills that have to be developed. The first skill is listening skills. Second is speaking skill. Third one is reading skill. Fourth one is writing skill. I can understand the limitation of online classes, but we are not utilizing whatever we have. We can discuss about some more things in English language so that they may be motivated to work on all these aspects. This will be developed through a process, and the process is, if the interest is generated among the students about reading, writing, listening, and speaking in English, then these skills would be developed. The most important thing is to develop interest among the students. Are we creating interest? So, how to create interest among the students? This is the focus of this video. My son is studying in class 6 and I've taken his book. His book is Communicate with Cambridge. This video is based on this. In the third, fourth page of this book, the themes have been identified on which the lessons have been arranged. Why there are different themes? Because on different themes, interest has to be generated so that their vocabulary will increase and they will read more and more pieces in English language and literature. The fourth lesson of this book is the Model Millionaire. This is lesson from art and sculpture. This has to create interest in art and sculpture so that the student may read more and more about art and sculpture in future. If he will read more and more, he will speak more and more, he will try to listen more and more things on art and sculpture. He would be writing on art and sculpture. This is the idea behind it, and we need to focus on this. Yes, it is not possible to interact with the students the way it has to be, but we can try our best to create interest in art and sculpture. We should not be focused on finishing the lesson. I can understand there is a pressure from management to finish the lessons as soon as possible. They are very much focused on teaching only. Learning is not their concern. We need to put little more focus on learning of students. At least we can create interest among the students. We can tell something else apart from what the text is saying. We can discuss about the writing style. We can discuss about the way it has been started, how to write stories like this. So all these things we need to discuss with the students. Yes, it has to be online. It will be one way communication, but certainly it will give some direction to students so that they may utilize this time and they may read, write, listen, and speak more and more in English. There are so many contents available on internet. We need to use it. If we are not using it, then we are not utilizing the time and the technology that we have at present. And the lesson that I am taking is from art and sculpture. The lesson is the Model Millionaire. This story or this piece has been written by Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde is a very renowned, very famous writer in Europe. He is from London, and let's know a little bit more about him.
Hello friends, today I'll tell you something about Oscar Wilde. He is the author of chapter 4 in our textbook The Model Millionaire. You can see how stylish he was. His hairstyle, his dress, his pose, his get-up. Obviously he was a very stylish person. He was born on 16th of October 1854 and died on 30th November 1900. He was an Irish author, journalist, poet, and a playwright. The famous works he did were novel Picture of Dorian Gray 1890, plays Salome, 1891. The Importance of Being Earnest, 1995. Long Letter, De Profundis, published posthumously in 1905. Long Poem, The Ballad of Reading Gold, 1998. Oscar Wilde produced 4 society comedies in the early 1890s, which made him one of the most successful playwrights of late Victorian London. He is best remembered for his epigram and plays. An epigram is a brief, interesting, memorable, and sometimes surprising or satirical statement. So, attention, you are going to find this in the Model Millionaire.
So, students, he is from Trinity College. He has also studied in Oxford. He is well known for his epigrams, the epigrams that we will be seeing in this literary piece. Uh, it helps in creating interest. Find those epigrams and see how it has been used in that literary piece. So, when you write, you also try to introduce such things in your writing to make it interesting. We'll see how he has made the story very interesting from the first line itself. In the starting of this lesson, there is a small literary piece. Few lines have been written on the painting Last Supper, the painting by Leonardo da Vinci. This piece is highlighting the importance of model in painting, because this lesson is about model millionaire, not millionaire model. So we don't need to highlight millionaire, we need to highlight the model. And to highlight the role of model, there is this very small piece given here. But before going to this, let's know a bit about the painting Last Supper. See this video.
So, The Last Supper is the second most admired painting in the world after Mona Lisa. In this painting, same person posed for Judas and Jesus. When he posed as Judas, he had to look like a betrayer, cruel and unpleasant person. And when he posed as Jesus, he had to look like innocent and beauty. This painting took 7 years to complete. So the person first posed as Jesus and after 6 years he posed as Judas. The painting depicts reaction of 12 disciples of Jesus when Jesus said, "One of you is going to betray me." And he added, "One who shared my bread has turned against me." So if you can see, John said, "Is that me, Jesus?" And the one with yellow clothes was afraid to touch the bread. Jesus and Judas moving their hands towards the bread. So in this picture, Judas also moved his hand towards the bread with Jesus. In this page, as you can see, the true painting made by Leonardo da Vinci is this one. And the Last Supper, that was a copy made by his student, was this painting. The original picture painted on the wall of a convent in the city of Milan in Italy, restored many times. You can see the door hindering in the view of feet of Jesus, which was constructed and then closed later. Later, one of the students of Leonardo painted a copy of it, which has been kept in the London Museum. The pic that is given in my book is the copy of the Last Supper made by a student of Leonardo da Vinci. Friends, there are many stories related to the painting The Last Supper. We cannot put all the videos because copyright issue. So you go check all the videos yourself, collect more and more information about this. Thank you.
This is a screenshot of the third page of the textbook. The two themes are visible here in this screenshot. The care and concern was the first theme. Under that theme, there were 2 stories and 1 poem. The New Doll, The 3 Days to See, poem To My of the Elephant. And in art and sculpture, again, there are 2 stories and a poem. The Model Millionaire, The Praying Hands, and the poem the statue. This is the way it has been divided. The themes have been divided, and for every theme there are three literary pieces that a student has to go through. There are so many things written in English literature. Some are related to care and concern, some are related to art and sculpture, some are related to many other themes. What this book is trying is to expose the students to different themes so that the students may generate interest in reading about these themes. The story that we are going to discuss today is the Model Millionaire. Let's have a quick view of this story. It is going through 4 pages. This is the first page, this is the second page, third page, and the fourth page. In every page you'll find there is a painting. In first page there is a painting and a warm-up exercise. This is Last Supper painting by Leonardo da Vinci. And then again there is a painting. A painter is painting a beggar man, and that painter is again discussing something with his friend, having tea and coffee. And at the end there is a picture, and it is saying a wedding present to Huggy Erskine and Laura Merton from the old beggar. And who is that old beggar? Did you notice? Here you can find this old beggar. So this old beggar has given some present to Huggy Erskine and Laura Matron. Let's start with this model millionaire. The Why not millionaire model? So what is important? The important thing come first. The model millionaire. The model is important. So the model is before millionaire. This is how we frame our title. So the title of a story needs to be very interesting, very eye-catching. The model millionaire. The model who is millionaire. This warm-up piece, it goes like this. Leonardo da Vinci took 7 years to paint the Last Supper, which included the figures of Christ and his disciples. After many interviews, he chose one man whose face showed innocence and beauty to model for Christ. After 6 years, he again interviewed many men to model for Judas, and finally selected an unpleasant and cruel looking prisoner. After painting was over, the prisoner revealed that he was the same person who had posed for Leonardo as model for Christ 6 years ago. What a fact about this picture. Only few lines has been written, and it has prepared you to go to the lesson. First I'll read this page, and then I'll discuss about the language skills of the writer that we need to understand and we need to inculcate in ourselves. The story goes like this. Unless one is wealthy, there is no use of being a charming fellow. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. These are the great truths of modern life which Huggy Erskine never realized. Poor Huggy. When his father died, he had left him no money at all. Huggy lived on £200 a year that an old aunt gave him. He had tried his hand at various jobs, but he did not like any of them. Ultimately, he became nothing. A delightful, unsuccessful young man with a perfect profile and no profession. To make matters worse, he was in love. The girl he loved was Laura Merton, the daughter of a retired colonel. They were the handsomest couple in London and had not a penny piece between them. The colonel was very fond of Huggy, but would never hear of any engagement. Come to me, my boy, when you have got £10,000 of your own, and we will see about it, he used to say. One morning, Huggy dropped in to see a great friend of his, Alan Trevor. Alan Trevor was an artist. He was a strange, rough fellow with a freckled face and red, rugged beard. However, when he took up the brush, he was a real master, and his pictures were eagerly sought after. This is all about the introduction. And now let's discuss how this writer has introduced all the 4 characters in the 4 introductory paragraphs of this story. The starting of a story is very important. How has it been started? Let's see. Unless one is wealthy, there is no use of being a charming fellow. This is very popular notion, and he has written that notion, and he has just clarified that I'm going to write about someone who is very charming but not wealthy. Unless one is wealthy, there is no use of being charming fellow. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. And then he is pointing out second very important notion, or the fact which is prevalent in society. It is important to have permanent income than to be fascinating. These were the great truths of the modern life which Huggy Erskine never realized. How the story is moving slowly but very smoothly, and he has introduced in first paragraph the main character of this story, and from there the story is moving, and in second paragraph, to make matters worse, this is again very popular notion, he was in love. So to make matter worse, he was very poor, he was not wealthy. He had to live on 200 pounds, which his aunt gave him. And to make the thing worse, he was in love. He was in love with a girl. So that girl was Laura Merton, and he has a daughter of a colonel. The colonel's views is very much cleared by a dialogue, by a simple sentence said by Colonel. Come to me, my boy, when you have got 10,000 pounds of your own, and we will see about it, he used to say. Then the fourth character is there, Alan Trevor, and the line is very interesting. Alan Trevor was an artist, and the way and the artistically the writer has painted his character. What he has written about him, he was a strange, rough fellow with a freckled face and red rugged beard. However, when he took up the brush, he was a real master, and his picture were eagerly sought. In just one paragraph, in just few words, he has just described the artist. So this is the way to move ahead. In first four paragraphs, he has introduced all the four characters of this story. There is one more character, that old beggar will come later. Old beggar will be introduced in a very interesting manner, because he is the person who is key to this story. So he would be introduced in a bigger way. So this is the way how to write, how to create interest, and the way the story is moving. Would you be able to write like this? So this is the skill that we need to understand, how Oscar Wilde has started a story, and how you would be starting your story. We need to learn it from the writer, the way he is writing, the way he is putting the popular notions, like it is better to have permanent income than to be fascinating. To make matters worse, he was in love. Delightful unsuccessful man with a perfect profile and no profession. See the way he is writing, how creative the writer is. So we need to learn all these things, and we need to use it in our. I hope you would find this introductory part very useful, and you would be very eager to know what would happen next. We'll come again, we'll meet you again, and we'll tell you what happened next. So, friends, at the end, I want to mention that the way the online classes are going on is not sufficient. We need to think over it. We need to develop interest in that subject, in the subject we are teaching. So, if interest is created, there are so many contents available on internet. They will go through it, and they'll learn more and more. Whatever I have demonstrated today is not the only thing that we need to do. We need to sit together and think about what more we can do to create interest among the students. It is not about the marks based on facts. They need to be developed as per the learning outcome of that subject. Focus on the learning outcome and think about the different ways to achieve those learning outcomes. So that is all for today. Wish you all the luck. Sit together, think over it, and devise ways to create interest among the students to achieve those learning outcomes of the subject that you are teaching. Till then, bye bye. See you.